Hey guys, it's Paddy. After a long season in Europe, after all the blood, sweat and tears, football has finally come to an end, except for one thing, the Champions League final. Will Real Madrid become the first team in the Champions League era to win back-to-back titles? Or will Juventus finally win one for Gigi Buffon? We don't really have those answers, same as you. What we did do is come up with the combined 11 for the two teams that are playing off on Saturday night. In goal, no surprises. We have a World Cup winner, twice a Champions League bridesmaid, but never a bride. At 39, this guy looks like he still has several years at the top level. And how could you not like him? Guys want to be him and girls want to He is miles ahead of Real Madrid counterpart Keylor Navas. So for us, there was no competition. Let me introduce our number one, Gianluigi Buffon. The decision at right back was also a clear one for us. Barcelona have been made to look like fools for letting this guy go, as he continues to perform down that right flank. Dani Carvajal has also been in sensational form for Real Madrid this season, with 4 assists in the Champions League. Dani Alves has just as many, however, plus 3 goals, making this decision an easy one for us. When it comes to Real Madrid and Juventus, we had our pick of high-class central defenders. For our first one, we chose a guy who embodies the spirit of this club and has for some time now. This guy loves the big occasions, loves scoring game-saving goals, and doesn't care who he runs over in the pursuit of victory. What this guy occasionally lacks in discipline, he makes up for in leadership, superb defending, and a knack for a goal. Sergio Ramos has 10 goals this season, including one in the Champions League. Of course, it came with his head. Our second defender comes from the opponents. Like Ramos, he's scored once in the Champions League this season. Like Ramos, his team has just won the league title. Unlike Ramos, this guy has just won it for the 6th straight time. But that Champions League title still eludes him. A loser in 2015 to Barcelona, will he have a better chance of lifting the trophy this time around against another Spanish opponent? He'll be alongside Giorgio Chiellini again in this final. So now I present to you Leo Bonucci. Now, in my last video, one of our users commented that I was boring.
Oh, snap.
That might be right, to be honest, but the man we have at left back in this side is definitely the opposite of that. He's Brazilian, he has cool hair, and he can go from winning possession in one half to setting up or scoring a goal in the other in a blink of an eye. Marcelo has terrorised opponents all season with his speed and his offensive threat. With 11 assists and 3 goals, his stats far outweigh those of counterpart Alexandro at Juventus. Marcelo has been one of Real Madrid's best players all season, and their main fulcrum from turning defence into attack. So let's recap. Who have we got so far? Buffon, Dani Alves, Sergio Ramos, Bonucci and Marcelo. A lot of defence and a dash of offence. So now let's turn to the centre of the park. And remember, this is a 3-man midfield, so there's plenty of competition for spots. Our first midfielder is one of world football's most magnificent passers of the ball. A World Cup winner, 2 times a Champions League winner, he leads his team in assists and pass completion this season. A master of the dead ball and the man who sets the tempo in midfield. This guy has been doing the business in Europe for seasons now, so there's no surprise that Toni Kroos makes our 11. Our next guy made it a little bit easier for Juventus to replace Paul Pogba, coming in at just 32 million at the start of the season. This guy takes a little bit of a different approach to Pogba, of course. A bit more positional, a bit more transitional, but he is now a key element of that old lady midfield. With our second midfield spot, Miralem Pjanic. This guy was briefly threatened with the flop tag soon after arriving at the Bernabeu, but he has since transitioned into one of Real Madrid's most irreplaceable players. With his vision and passing, he is capable of launching a counter-attack from deep inside his own half. He's also capable of dribbling directly at a defence and picking them apart. In case you haven't guessed it yet, it's Luka Modrić. So there's our midfield. Modrić, Kroos and Pjanic. A little tough on some players like Khedira or Casemiro, but you have to pick three, and those are the ones we went to. Now, let's look at the attack. So now to our first forward, a guy who looks like he could be Gigi Buffon's son, a prodigy who can dribble through any defence. This guy didn't quite match the 20 goals he scored last season, but we'll forgive him. A playmaker and a prodigy, we of course talk about Paulo Dybala. You might know him as a famous underwear model, but of course, this guy is Real Madrid's biggest star. The Portuguese has been collecting goals in his usual calm and collected manner all through this tournament. In fact, he's the first player to ever score over 100 in the Champions League. Keep an eye out for this one. He'll be the quiet, unassuming one in the number 7 shirt for Real Madrid. The last player in this team, and we had plenty of competition for this role. But we've gone with a guy who actually used to play for Real Madrid, but is now with Juventus. He's yet to win a Champions League title, somewhat strangely to be honest, but if he does this year, it might end all talk of that massive fee Juventus paid for him at the start of this season. So Karim Benzema might be a little bit unlucky here. We of course are going with Gonzalo Higuain, the man who looks like he might be carrying an extra kilo or two, but trust us, under that Juventus shirt, there's nothing but goals. So that's our team. What do you guys think? Did we pick the right 11? Who missed out that should have made it, and who made it that shouldn't have? Let us know in the comments. Keep watching our content, and of course, subscribe. And how can you not like this guy? Girls want to be him, and guys want to be, no, that's the other way. Young sensations of world football. No. Can we use that?